Here we go. We are ready for a marketing with impact session. Good morning, everyone. And obviously the Marketing with Impact video is playing more and more this morning. I was trying to get cool and creative as we were getting ready to share our Marketing with Impact session this morning. But I'm going to have to learn how to program that one up a little bit better. But we got something started. It looks a bit cool anyway, Colton.
I liked it. I thought it looked great.
The cuts aren't smooth, that's all, but it's all about those sorts of things. Okay, I am very, very excited. You are joining me live here this morning because we are doing now. Right, I'm paid for words. This is great. And I don't have the excuse Colton has this morning. We're being joined by Colton from CartStack to join us live and talk to us about customer recovery programs. We all know that attracting a new customer is a little bit of hard work when it comes to that point. So we don't want to lose them because we're in the process of trying to win them across or get their information out. And so we don't want to lose our people for those reasons. So I am all big about talking about what we're going to talk about today, which is how to make sure that we are managing our customers and attracting our customers in the right way and going through customer recovery programs or retaining those customers that we get showing interest in our programs. And yes, I've just checked the Facebook. We are all officially live and ready to go. We have a couple of participants here with us in Zoom as well, Colton, but I'll be checking those areas. Welcome. Please introduce yourself. And guys, I understand we're going to keep this one short, not too long today because Colton is sick. He's got a sinus infection. And for those of us who have sinus infections, this poor guy needs to go back to bed.
I'll be doing my best Batman impression today for the remainder of the call, not by choice. So I hope my voice lasts the whole time. But yeah, I'm Colton. I'm the marketing manager for CartStack. Just a little bit about me. I have a background in digital marketing and design. I started off as an entrepreneur, launched a photography business that was pretty successful. Fell in love though more with the marketing and like the design side of it. So I went back to school for it to pursue that. Became a graphic designer and shifted kind of my career into digital marketing around 2013, 14. And that's where I've been. I've been with CartStack, marketing manager here since early 2017. And I'm also the head of a program we call CartStack Optimize, which I'll go into what that is in a second, because it's where I've learned a lot of the information we're going to be talking about today. What is customer recovery? It's like Linda said, you spend a lot of time and trouble getting traffic to your site, and it's frustrating when they don't convert. So customer recovery, basically, it's going to take a holistic approach and look at your visitors to try to recover visitors at all stages of the buyer journey rather than just abandoned carts. And that's a little bit of a preview about what we're going to get into. First, I'll chat a bit about CartStack. We were founded in 20. Is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely. That? You might as well give the street cred about where we're coming from. Marketing 101.
Yeah. Yeah, so CartStack that's customer recovery is what we do. We have a full set of automations that basically the whole goal is to bring lost customers back to your site. We were founded in 2014 by two guys that worked for Best Buy. Our co-founders actually both created the first cart abandonment sequence for Best Buy. And I believe to this day, it's still like one of the most successful email campaigns they run, if not the most successful. But they were so successful with it, they decided to bring it to market. So we have CartStack. And we started pretty much just with abandoned cart remarketing when we wanted to be the best in the world at that one thing, recovering abandoned carts. But then, as we really focused on that, we saw the need to help our customers recover more than abandoned carts. So that was kind of our shift from abandoned cart recovery into customer recovery. We started launching, rather than, just targeting abandoned carts, we started launching browse abandonment, SMS retargeting, push notification retargeting, on-site like exit intent tools, conversion tools, all these things that really help to warm up customers at every stage of the buyer journey rather than just abandoned carts. And with the launch of all these features, we quickly realized that a lot of our customers, while their expertise may have been in driving traffic and a lot of areas of digital marketing, recovery was not necessarily one of the main areas of expertise. So we launched what we call CartSec Optimize, where basically we handle the recovery for our customers. We launch all types of different campaigns and basically take on the customer recovery for them. So most of what I think I'll be discussing today, are concepts and frameworks that we've really learned in shifting our business model from abandoned cart recovery into customer recovery. And I'll get into kind of the difference between those things here in a second. Am I good to keep moving, Linda?
Yeah, you're good to keep moving. And guys,
all right.
I'm going to give Colton a break for a second so that he can get some voice back and some power, because he's been doing all the talking for a little while. And apologies for those of you who see me darting off screen, but I am watching our live streams on YouTube and on LinkedIn and across those channels while we do this. The most out of these sessions, the most you're going to get is Colton's going to share some amazing stuff with you. Now, we've mentioned some terms this morning that might leave you all going, what the hell are you talking about? And because as business owners, I get that, and I get that from the opportunity there. When we talk about browser recovery, or you're talking about SMS recovery, what we're talking about is someone's actually got to the point that they're showing interest. And they got to the point not only that they're showing interest, but you might want to, we're hopefully able to bring them back. We're able to bring them back into the loop, back into the cycle, back into those areas throughout that period. So I just wanted to touch base on that term in particular when we talk about browser abandonment. When we're talking about customer recovery here, and both Colton and I had a really huge conversation before we even jumped into this session about not doing it in a spammy way. And that's the biggest thing that we are talking about today. How do you re-engage a customer who was so close to buying to being able to buy, or who has bought, and how do we bring them back again? So I just wanted to make sure we had that foundation for everyone here. If you have questions, I am happy to take them, and we are happy to answer them wherever we can today. I'm going to hold questions to the end so Colton can get through his presentation. Normally I would interrupt, but today we're going to let him get through the presentation so that you can learn the skills. And then between the two of us, hopefully at the end, I can take a little bit of pressure off Colton and we can both answer together at the same time. How does that sound?
Works great for me.
Beautiful. Let's get into it.
All right. So what is customer recovery? And I say, I start off this way because a lot of people confuse abandoned cart recovery with customer recovery. And really, they're not that much different. Customer recovery is really just a more, just kind of a more broad view of your visitors. Cart abandonment, I'm not saying that cart abandonment isn't important, because abandoned cart recovery is a critical part of an online business's recovery strategy. And when someone comes to us with when a new customer comes to us and they say, hey, I've got like a ton of people coming to my site, they're adding things to their cart, but I've got this huge cart abandonment problem. Well, we kind of snicker because it's not a problem to us. We actually like seeing businesses with a lot of cart abandonment. And here's why. One, it tells us you've got you've got a lot of people on your website giving you really strong signals of intent to purchase. An add to cart is them telling you that they want what you've got to some extent, but something is stopping them. It's also a sign of quality traffic. If you've got a lot of people adding things to their cart, you know that you've got a lot of the right people on your website. And at this point, all you have to do is address the reason they're not making it through the checkout. It's a form of customer self-segmentation. Your customers don't know this, but they're actually telling you, hey, I'm a cold lead, or I'm a warm lead, or I'm a hot lead. They're telling you where they're at in the customer journey by the way they interact with your website. Abandoned carts, if you've got the right software, the right tracking software on your site, like people coming to the cart, entering an email and abandoning, it's going to help you capture a lot of really good hot leads. And really, when we think about it, an abandoned cart is just the interaction resulting in an abandoned cart is really just one of the many touch points required to get a customer through from start to finish, from they just found out about you to they're now a customer. And I think it's somewhere between 6 to 9 touch points on average are needed for the average e-commerce transaction to be completed. But so really abandoned cart is just kind of getting them through those touch points. Just because they added something to their cart doesn't mean they're ready to purchase yet, but it does mean they're getting ready to purchase, or they're getting closer to purchasing. And COVID has kind of had a pretty big impact on this as well. I did a webinar last year where I pulled some metrics, and I found an article talking about how COVID, basically, experts claim that COVID has forced 15 years of predicted e-commerce growth into 1 year. So everything that they had predicted e-commerce was going to do over the next 15 years was kind of crammed into this past year. And that's a lot of change in 1 year. You've got, right? Yeah, it's something none of us were ready for and has had massive impacts on abandonment rates. You've got a lot of brick and mortar businesses that didn't have an online presence who have been forced to sell online and promote their online efforts. You have businesses with both a brick and mortar and an online presence who have refocused all of their efforts into their online sales. You've got an influx of businesses selling online, creating more competition, more retailers selling similar items, which is creating more comparison shoppers, leading to an increased cost per lead, all of which are having massive impacts on abandonment rates, both cart abandonment and website abandonment, people abandoning carts and people browsing around and then abandoning before they even add to their cart. So in short, abandonment is not only not going anywhere, it's getting worse or better if you're us. So really, we've shifted away from cart abandonment into website abandonment, just kind of help our customers cast a wider net and recover more than just abandoned carts. Customer recovery kind of takes this holistic approach to abandoned cart recovery by attaching certain website actions to the buyer journey in order to identify messaging at each segment of the journey that results in a recovered customer, not just the acquisition stage of the journey, which if you're familiar, we're going to get into the buyer journey, but if you're familiar with the buyer journey, there's all these steps, and the acquisition stage of the buyer journey is typically where our cart abandoners are, and that's who we're going after with cart abandonment emails. So what this does is it opens it up, and we're going to go after each stage. And I've got some visuals here to kind of show you what I'm talking about, to kind of walk you through. Does that work?
Yeah, it does. I think you're passing the loss of voice across across the Zoom.
Yeah.
Guys, if you have questions as we go through this, please ask. This is a topic that even as marketers, myself and Colton, you'll back me up on this. It's something we need to stay across. And Colton brought up a really, really cool point there. We've gone through about 13 years of growth in 1 year.
Yeah. Yep.
And the online space, I know we have course creators in here. I know we have business owners in here. I know out of our 33,000 members inside business, that many of them have felt overwhelmed at this point in time. The idea of this session is not to overwhelm you. It's to help you maintain those efforts.
Yeah.
And retain those people going through the process. So we can talk about this till the cows come home. Absolutely. Or until Colton's voice runs out today. But what we do want to do, guys, is make sure that this is part of the process, and it's part of making sure that the marketing efforts we're doing, and to me, it's a foundational thing. It's about making sure that we've got our foundations right before going.
Yeah, it's about getting, people often come to CardStack and they're like, oh, you're going to get me new sales, so you must be sending new traffic. No, we're just going to get the traffic you've already got to convert a little bit better, right? Yeah. And there's so many things that marketers are in charge of as far as sending new traffic, promoting themselves. Like there's so many things. Recovery is just a tiny piece of that puzzle, but it's a very important piece, because if you don't have a good recovery strategy set up, then all the work you're doing on the front end to send that traffic, all the social media, all the ads, all whatever you're doing is all for naught, because they're leaving and they forget about you. So that's really the point of this, is to emphasize how important it is to have a good system running kind of in the background, constantly creating sales out of your existing traffic, right? And so I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to try.
Let's delve into it. I'm taking you off topic a little.
Oh, no worries. Let's see here if I can get the right screen, and boom. Is that up?
You are up and you are on camera.
Cool. All right, so let's talk about the buyer journey from a customer recovery standpoint. And most of us, I'm sure, are aware of what this journey looks like. It starts off in this awareness phase. Customers are just kind of becoming aware of your products, or even maybe the concept. Maybe they don't even know your product exists. So they're kind of becoming aware of your products, the concept. They're asking very specific questions in this stage, and they move on to consideration. They're starting to consider your products, right? Or a competitor's products. They're doing research, they're searching, they're really hot and heavy right now. Acquisition is where they're they're combating some final objections, and they're getting to the point where they're about to become a customer. And then we move on to service and loyalty, which aren't as important for what we're going to be talking about today. They're very important. Service and loyalty, very important parts of the buyer journey. But from a recovery standpoint, really all we're interested in right now is the awareness, consideration, and acquisition stages. And so what I want to share with you is kind of the expanded buyer journey. This is what we kind of the framework that we look through when setting up a customer recovery campaign. Because there are all these within these first three steps right here, awareness, consideration, and acquisition, there are miniature steps that these buyers are going through and questions at each step that they're asking that if you're not aware of these questions and you don't know what they're asking or what their ailments are at each of these stages, then you're not going to be able to recover them because the messaging isn't going to be right for that segment. So one thing I want to chat about is just the expanded buyer journey and what these little steps look like so that we can know what questions to ask in each of these or what questions each of these customers are asking so that we can address the retention at each of these stages. So let's jump into awareness here for a second. Typically, a customer in the awareness stage starts out at this initial interest stage. And what I'm going to use just a really easy product that we can all track along with. I'm just going to use a car. Imagine you've never heard of a car before, right? I know it's out there, but it's just going to be an easy one to track with. So initial interest might start out with, how do I get to work, right? And then they move into the familiarization of concepts where they're answering the question, how do I get to work? Okay, now I know about this car thing. Why do I need a car? Is this the best option for me? And these questions kind of translate into many different niches, industries, obviously translated into your business. But they're familiarizing with the concept. Why do I need a car? Is it the best option? And then they start exploring the concept. What kind of cars are there? And the thing about this part of the buyer journey is these questions are pretty concept and product centered. They're asking questions that have to do less with them and their needs and more with what is this thing? And that's important to know, because if we're going to be sending messages and reminders or trying to target them online, we need to know that these folks are not going to respond to saying, hey, you left something in your cart, come back and buy it, right? They're like, what are you talking about? I haven't even seen your cart.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So these are kind of the mini steps within awareness. And then we move into consideration, where we start out at research. All right, now I know I need a car. Which car is best for me? All right. And then we get a little bit more dialed in and we start searching. All right, I know I need a 4-door sedan. Which 4-door sedan is best for me? And then we get into the comparison where we're like, all right, so Accords and Camrys sound pretty great. Now, which ones are priced the best? Which ones are easier to get? Which ones have the best reputation? And these are all factors that they're considering when they're in this stage. Once they get to the acquisition stage, this is where they're really just combating final objections. Am I sure this is the one? Will I regret this? They're in that last. It's easy to kind of get distracted or not make any decisions that push them forward into the buyer stage, because this is kind of the hardest part. Yep. Am I sure this is the right decision for me, right? And then we get to where they convert. I love my new Honda Accord, or whatever that ends up being. Sometimes I love my new Hummer. You never know the thought process of buyers. But just assuming that they stuck with the path, I love my new Honda Accord. And then they're onto the service and loyalty side of things. So why does this matter? This matters because an understanding of the journey your buyers take to become customers is crucial to being able to identify the messaging that recovers customers at each stage, right? So sending an abandoned cart message to someone in the consideration stage is not going to make sense. Sending a message, trying to warm someone up that's already a hot lead isn't going to make sense. So we got to dial in our messaging for each of these segments. And so one thing that I think is worth noting, where is my note here? Here it is. There it is. So Grow Code surveyed their audience to see which of their customers' businesses have been positively impacted by the effects of a journey-based marketing and remarketing approach. They looked at customer satisfaction, retention, churn, and customer lifetime value. 95% said that it had a positive impact that a journey-based approach had a positive impact on customer satisfaction. And then 90% said it had a positive impact on retention, churn, and customer lifetime value. So really the customer journey, I mean, it's important to understand where customers are at in the customer journey, but how do we do it? Like, how do you look at the actions somebody's taking on your website and tie it back to where they're at? This is our shortcut. This is the cart stack little, this is kind of just, this is how we lay it out for people. It's not 100% foolproof. There are still going to be some colder leads that add something to the cart. There's still going to be some hotter leads that never add something to the cart. But this is just kind of a good little shortcut, a good little way to get a quick overview of where the people that have visited your site, where they're at in the journey, right? And so let's look at the buyer journey for a second as if it were a funnel, right? As your
Colton, I'm going to give you a second because I'm going to come in now as the mum here and say, take a moment, take a sip of water.
Yep, I like it. I'm gonna mute.
Give your voice a second and have a sip of water. I'm such a mom, I know.
I appreciate it. No, I really appreciate it because I would just keep going until I had nothing left.
No, I know the personality well.
For sure. All right. Okay, so let's look at our customer journey here, and I'm there we go. As if it were a funnel, it would look like this. Your customers are starting off at the awareness stage. Oh, what happened? I think I scrolled past. There we go.
Yeah.
So customers starting out in awareness, they move into consideration, acquisition, service, and as they get down your funnel, they get closer to becoming a customer, right? So, when they're in this awareness stage, typically people who had just visited your website for the first time, or only hit your homepage and left, or maybe they hit like an old blog post or something, these people are typically going to be in the awareness stage. They're just becoming familiar with either the concepts or the products that you're offering. And then as we get down into our return visitors, people who have come back, this is their second or third visit or higher, they bounced around between category pages, maybe product pages, maybe some they've looked at some targeted blog content. These folks are typically going to be in the consideration phase. They're answering the me questions, like, how is this going to benefit me? How is this? Which one of these products is best for me? They're doing their research, right? And then for our add to carts and the folks that have begun to check out, they're going to typically be in this acquisition stage. They're combating their final objections and getting ready to hopefully become a customer. So what I want to look at is the goals that we should have for customers in each of these stages, and the tools that we use to either accomplish those goals or recover those customers, get them re-engaged, right? Yep. So there's really just, we'll keep it quick and easy here. We're just going to go through the awareness, consideration, acquisition stages, and just kind of talk high level about some of the things we can be doing, right? So initial visits, the awareness stage. Remember, these people are going from initial interest to familiarization with concept to concept exploration. So the goals for these folks: one, deliver value. We know that they're really looking for more info on your product or whatever service or whatever it is that you offer. They're wanting more info. So we're wanting to get them valuable info that gets them information about your products. We're wanting to get them engaged. So if you have any sort of exit intent tools, live chat, contact forms, a lot of these people may come to your contact forms and submit a question. We want to get engagement. We want to cookie or pixel these folks so that we can follow them around, right? Like this is digital marketing 101. We want to gain a site subscription. So if you have push notifications on your site, we want to try to get them subscribed so that we can re-engage them. We can send them a series of messages that brings them back, right? We want to capture a lead. Like I said, some of these people may be going to your contact page and sending you questions about your products, or getting on live chat, or they may be interacting with your website and you in ways that may allow you to capture a lead. So if that's going to happen, we want to capture that lead. And we want to nudge them. We want to do things that nudge them closer to becoming a customer. And the reason I use the word nudge because we kind of have that's just the way that we look at it with this stage. As you get further down into the stages, it becomes a little bit more of a targeted thing. But a nudge is more of like a reminder of benefits. If you offer free shipping or have a really good warranty or a money back guarantee or something like that, something that will help combat some of the objections up front, would be a nudge. And the ways that we do this are, and I put a star next to, because I'm going to give you information on what we do at CartStack and just some things you should be doing. I put a star next to like services that CartStack offers, but not all of these things we offer. They're just things that we recommend as a kind of So on-site tracking, a way to track your website visitors, record data as it's typed into fields like email addresses, whatever, a way to record contact information and a way to really track their customer journey, right? On-site targeting, exit intent pop-ups, offering something in exchange for an email input, or even using that to nudge them closer, using an exit intent tool to nudge them closer to converting. Again, reminding them of benefits, free shipping, coupon codes, promos, anything like that. Live chat, something we don't offer, but super important, giving them a way to get in touch, ask questions. Social proof, huge. This is something that we're actually, a little pop-up that slides in corner of the screen that says so-and-so just bought this 30 minutes ago or just 5 minutes ago, whatever. Weirdly enough, these things work really well for customers in the awareness stage. It just shows them, hey, like people like this. Okay, this is a cool product. People are interested in it. And then value-driven social and online retargeting. Retargeting your visitors with value-driven information, blog posts that provide clarity around your products, reviews, just things like that. Things that just help warm up cold leads, right? And then, there we go. And then we get into the consideration phase, which again are these people that are researching, searching, and comparison shopping based on price, availability, and reputation. Goals of which are re-engagement. They've already been to our site once. We want to get them back. Increasing those touch points. Like I said, we need somewhere between 6 and 9 for the average e-commerce transaction. So we want to get them interacting with your brand a few more times. Staying top of mind. A lot of these folks already know that they need what you've got to some extent and just aren't super motivated to pull to make the call. Yep. So, we just want to do things that keep you top of mind so that when they decide, oh, wait, I need to go ahead and make this purchase, you're the one they think of. Offering support. A lot of times people don't like to be marketed to. And that's a big part of what we do at CartStack. A lot of our remarketing, a lot of the messages we send are going to be support based. We don't really like to go after folks with like, hey, don't forget the thing you left in your cart this, your cart that. We like to come at them with more of a strategic kind of like, oops, did something happen? We're here to help. Let us know if you need help. And so offering support in this stage is just a really good way to answer those me-centered questions, right? Removing and addressing barriers, that's kind of an obvious one, just helping them to combat barriers, whatever issues they may have with purchasing from you, doing things with reviews, content, more that value-driven content that helps address those barriers. And then ultimately the goal is recovery. We want to turn this visitor into a customer. And the ways that we're going to do that are through more personalized social and online retargeting. So these folks, they know more about your products. They've spent more time with your brand. You can get a little bit more targeted with the content that you retarget these folks with. So just more product-based information, more, again, reviews. I can't stress enough how important reviews are for a recovery campaign. Might need to pause and cough for.
Boy, I think he needs to take a break again. Okay, there we go. Let me jump in. I'm going to jump in from a mum point of view and talk about these areas. Now, guys, some clients will go through all of these stages rapidly. Some will progress from the point of view where they need to look at. They need to go through these stages over time. So the biggest thing when we talk about this, and Colton knows I talk about trees and all of those sorts of things and growing them up rather than pushing them down a funnel. But when we're looking at it from this point of view, consideration is about showing your stuff, showing how your product can help, showing all of those areas. It isn't going buy. It is about adding the value to the customer at this particular point in time. But don't ever disperse anything, because we don't know, especially in the world of COVID, we don't have any clue what people's budgets and those sorts of things are to when they're going to move from consideration to acquisition. Lots of people do consider awareness first. They pop up in awareness and they sit in the awareness zone for a long time because they go, yeah, I know. And, we've had it happen with a workshop I did last week. There's been a guy sitting on my newsletter list for 2 years, aware that he needs my services, but the timing wasn't right until the last workshop that we happened to run, and he was in there and bought it. So his awareness phase was a long one. But once he came in, he was in consideration. Once he went to consideration, he went to acquisition. And he's about to go to service very, very quickly. but even further than where we started. Gosh, we are passing this voice between each other. My only excuse is I did 3 presentations yesterday, and this is my 4th one for today. So it's most probably.
Oh man. Wow.
Yeah, this is education week for me. This is the week that I seem to be doing every training. The process throughout this area is just make sure that you are adding value and you don't get frustrated, because I know I see a lot of my clients and a lot of my students get frustrated why people are still in the consideration stage.
Yeah.
These people are hot. These people are going to buy if we treat them right. We don't want more people. We don't want to bring more people into the awareness phase if we're not nurturing through the consideration stage in the right way.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, and then so as far as I got it. I got 5 minutes. So yeah, then the next tool would be on-site retargeting, meaning like exit intent, nudges, those kind of things that just kind of help keep someone on the page while they're there. Browse abandonment emails. This is so we've talked about cart abandonment, browse abandonment. Cart abandonment is the portion of your buyers who come to your website, shop around, add something in their cart and leave. Browse abandoners are these people that have come back a couple times, visited category and product pages, and just dug in on your website but never taken action. So browse abandonment emails are just like cart abandonment emails. They just take a little bit different approach. That you use more of a support approach. You go less salesy with it. There's a lot of different things that we recommend our customers do from a browse abandonment standpoint to warm up some of these already pretty warm leads.
So Colton, just for everyone that's sitting here, if we were looking at attracting a browser abandonment situation, that's where we're talking more about exit pop-up strategy type situation. They're about to leave. Let's get their email. Let's support them through. Is that how we're doing this?
No. So browse abandonment, from the way that we define browse abandonment, is because a lot of browse abandoners are going to be previous cart abandoners, right? Yeah. They've come to your site at some point. They've added something to their cart. They type an email into a field. You capture the email, they leave. You send them however many emails, and they never respond to any of them. Yeah. The thing with browse abandonment is basically the longer a browse abandonment campaign's running, the longer you're cooking your visitors, capturing leads, the more you have, a good system on your site, the better that's going to do over time. But browse abandonment recovery, from the way that we define it, what you're talking about, the exit intent, the keeping the on-site retention, that's what we categorize under the on-site retargeting side of it. Browse abandonment is actually the reminders. We're going to send emails, push notifications.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And so we have a lot of people like, well, how are, if someone's not adding something to their cart, how are you capturing their email? But most of these browse abandoners are just going to be previous cart abandoners. They're also people that have entered an email into a live chat or an exit intent pop-up, or, CartStack, the way that CartStack works is, with our code on your site, we're going to capture emails anywhere they're typed in your site in real time and cooking that user in case they leave. So if someone comes to your contact page, they type an email, they leave, they haven't been back in 4 months, they come back to your site, they start to browse around and look at some products, and they hit a few pages. Because we have that user cookie from that previous visit, and because the visit, the transaction, or the visit is transactional in nature, we can send that person reminders and just say, with a less targeted, less marketing tone, with more of a, hey, thanks for visiting us. Did you see anything you liked? Is there anything we can help you with? just offering some support. And man, that just kills it. It just pairs so well with browse.
Customer service looks amazing, doesn't it? I just wanted to get that clear for all of our guys here so that they understood what the process was. And it's also, it's about making sure that we attract those sorts of things. And look, and guys, I'm going to be really honest, it's not something we've rolled out on our sites because our product is most probably a little bit small, but we have rolled out cart abandonment, and this is definitely something I'm looking at rolling out across a number of our sites, especially my coaching sites, and where they fill in their forms and do all of those sorts of things, or they want to talk to us about working on those sorts of things. So if someone's coming back and what I call online stalking me, one of the first things I'm going to offer them is a discovery call. Let's have a chat. You've visited for a while now. Let's have a chat. Let's have a conversation. How can I help?
Definitely. So let me, oops.
That's okay.
Hitting the wrong button. We're hitting the wrong button here. Yeah, and then the other thing that, I've got messenger reminders in here. If you can do like Facebook, Instagram retargeting,
Yep.
man, Facebook isn't going anywhere, unfortunately. And and then we have what we call real-time notifications, and this is just for businesses who have a sales team, or even if you don't, maybe you just want to stay, keep your finger on the pulse of abandonment activity on your site. Real-time notifications. We have companies that basically use these and set a threshold that says, hey, notify me, send me an email to this email every time someone abandons the cart or abandons our website or whatever. Cart specifically abandons a cart worth over $500, $1,000,
Yep.
whatever. If you've got a sales team, you can pipe those. Those are just good leads for salespeople. If you want to add just a personalized approach to your outreach efforts, this is just a good tool to use there. And I mention it because we have a lot of customers that use these really successfully and for a lot of different things. So moving into acquisition. Again, these are people combating their final objections. They're almost customers. So it doesn't take really much to get them to convert. These are the hottest leads on your website for the most part. Our goals for these guys, recover them, right? We want to send them do whatever we can to get them. We know you want to be a customer. Stop kicking your feet. Let's do this. We're gonna, so the way that we're gonna do that is highly targeted social and online retargeting. So retarget them with the exact products and items and images and things that were in their cart, right? On-site retargeting, again, this is our exit intent, our on-site tracking. Abandoned cart emails, this is the main, I would say this is the core revenue driver for 98% of our customers.
Has worked on our Think Epic school very, very well.
Yep. Yeah, it works great, and it's because it's a no-brainer. These people, they're the closest to becoming customers. It typically doesn't take much. On top of that, abandoned cart push notifications, abandoned cart SMS. This just is kind of that land, sea, and air approach to your remarketing, right? And you want to make sure that your campaigns are all working together and they all kind of they're coordinated with one another, right? And these are all things. Again, the stars just kind of show you these are all things that we offer. Tab abandonment is actually a new feature. It's pretty cool. So for the folks that say they come to your website, they add something to their cart and they're like, I wonder what's going on Instagram. They pull up Instagram, right? But they leave your tab open. Basically what this will do is this will make your website emit a chime. It'll change the favicon of your website and change the title there in the tab to say, wait, don't forget about us, right? Or something like that.
That is cool.
Isn't that neat? Isn't that neat? It's just a site retention tool. It's for those because so many people are going to not check out simply because they just got distracted. They just opened a new tab. Oh, got a message on Instagram, Facebook. What's going on over here?
I'm guilty of it.
Yeah. Oh, me too. I'm probably one of the worst. But yeah, tab abandonment is just a way that even after they've left your page, gets them back, right? And so this is just kind of the assortment of tools. Oh, and then there's messenger reminders in there, but this is just kind of the assortment of tools that we use to help our customers, attract reattract or recapture visitors at each of these stages. Like we mentioned, these are going to be our initial homepage visitors. We're going to get them with on-site tracking and retargeting. For the return visitors and the people who are poking around, browse abandonment. For the add to carts and the people that have begun to check out, abandoned cart. And really, like I say, I know that sounds like, wait, that sounds too simple. And it kind of is. I would highly recommend everyone spending a good amount of time in going out and mapping out your buyer journey. And HubSpot actually has a really good resource for it, for identifying, mapping out your customer journey. Yep. I'll have to look that up, but really just buyer journey map, Google it. HubSpot will be one of the first articles, and it's really good. But this is just kind of that foundational framework that we set up that makes it easy for our customers to understand why we're going to set these campaigns up this way, why we're going to retarget these people this way. And by focusing on this entire buyer journey rather than just the acquisition stage, we can continually push colder leads to become warmer leads to become hotter, and hotter leads to convert, all just by adjusting the messaging and the strategies we use at each of these steps. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I had like an offer I wanted to share with you guys. The link here. So this is just our link, but I think we have a link we want to send them through, right?
Do.
Okay.
We
Cool.
do have our partner link with you, which I'm going to send through. Do they need a code, Colton, to come through? Or
so if I see them come through your partner link, I'm going to go in on my end and do and extend their trial. So basically, we offer everyone a 14-day trial and what we call a $1,000 guarantee.
Yeah.
This $1,000 guarantee, basically what this says is no matter what, you'll be able to use CartStack to recover at least $1,000 no matter how long it takes, right?
Okay.
So 30 days or $1,000 or 14 days or $1,000, whichever takes longer.
Yep.
For this today, we're going to double both of those and do 30 days and $2,000. So,
yep.
So, either 30 days or $2,000 in recovered revenue, whichever takes longer. If you only recovered $500 after 30 days, you'll use the tool for free until you get to 2,000.
Beautiful. I was just typing as you and I spoke. I've got it in our YouTube session over here. I'm going to pop it into our live stream chat over here for everyone. This is phenomenal. Okay, let's look at it from this point of view. I'm going to do the pitch component for Colton over here right at the moment. The reason I'm going to do the pitch component of this, I'm going to bring you down to our story and when we came through it. So Colton and I found each other through Thinkific. I'm a Thinkific approved expert. Thinkific, we're bringing out this app store. CartStack was one of the ones they said, do you want to have a play with? And I went, bright shiny object, let me have it.
Yep.
Which was pretty much my response to how this system goes.
Us marketers love our bright shiny objects.
We do love our bright shiny objects. I've got an AppSumo email sitting there waiting for me today that I'm going, what do I look at now?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Look, from all points of view, what CartStack did for us is, most of my courses are priced at a low, and what I call a no-brainer price point. They're under the $200 mark. If I make a sale, great. If I don't, I don't. I'm not actually all that upset about it. But what CartStack has done is it has put up an abandoned cart sequence email from anyone who gets and puts that in their checkout, or they start to register that process. And we have seen an increase in sales and we've seen them come through. But the fact that it's either 30 days or $2,000, if you've recovered $2,000 in sales, I can tell you this product is worth its money. Because that's $2,000 you maybe wouldn't have got otherwise throughout that process. If if it takes you 30 days and you've recovered whatever's the longest, if you recover $2,000 in the first 24 hours, you still got 30 days to go. Yep. Have fun with it, guys. Have fun with the opportunity to do this. This is not only just for course creators, it's for you e-commerce people. This product is literally going into Miss 12's shop. It's going to be the first one we test on browser abandonment and from WooCommerce. Yes. So my 12-year-old is going to get a really good abandoned cart and browser abandonment program first.
Love it. Love it.
You got to love it. The 12-year-old's business gets it before mommy and daddy's. But the reason we're doing that is because she's e-com. And I really want to make sure that she gets the best out of her products and all of those sorts of things. And plus, she's 12. She's at school during the day. She can't manage her own abandoned cart process.
That used to be the main subheadline on our website was convert sales in your sleep. Right. Yeah. It just works in the background all the time. Nothing that our product does, you're not going to really get in there and send out manual blasts. We are adding some functionality that's going to be really cool. But as far as right now, it's all automated. It's all working in the background. It's just, it allows you to continue doing what you do all on the forefront of your business, right? Sending traffic, writing blog posts, social media, launching ads, emails, all this stuff. And knowing that you've got a machine working in the background that's going to work hard to get those people to convert, that you're not doing all of that, that all your hard work is not, all for naught.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the biggest component. And that's where it brings us back to where we started this morning with, this is one of the foundational pieces that those of us who are selling online should be looking at having in our system, is making sure that when we've got the traffic, that we're making the opportunities to be able to convert it. And as I said, the $2,000 30-day trial option, guys, thanks, Colton, for offering it to my people afterwards.
Oh, well.
Accounts will be fine. No, they love it. They love it. They love CartStack. Don't worry. Accounts love CartStack. I don't think we have a problem to worry about there.
Yeah, well.
And Colton, just for those members who want to understand what the pricing is, can we just go through the pricing, what happens after?
Yes.
After that.
Yeah, our pricing is based on the total amount of orders your site processes per month, not the amount of orders our software helps you recover the number that you're processing right now. So if you are doing 100 orders a month, 40 orders a month, whatever, that's going to put you in a different price bracket. We started, I would say that most course creators are, unless you have a crazy business and you're doing 1,000, plus orders per month. I would say most course creators are going to be in the 29 to 59 price bracket per month.
Yep.
That's so far what we've seen. Again, that'll be, but it varies. I just would, I'd recommend go to cartstack.com, go to the pricing page. We got a little slider on there that you can go back and forth. I can actually pull that up here real quick and just
I think let's pull it up and show everyone what it's going to be, so that they can understand what it is. Screen
real quick. Boom and boom. Everybody see that?
Yeah.
Okay, let me make this a little smaller so it's a little easier to see. Okay, yeah. So just go here. However many orders you process per month, or however many sales transactions you process per month, just drag this slider to whatever that looks like, and you'll get the price below. Most of our Thinkific customers are right here in this range.
Yeah.
And it gets cheaper if you do a monthly plan, annual plan. Yeah, for sure. So for basic abandoned cart, you're looking at 29. Pro includes abandoned cart, browse abandonment, SMS, push. All of the different things that we were talking about. Basically, basic gets you the ability to target everyone in that acquisition stage. Pro gets you the ability to target everyone in the other stages. This is the customer recovery friendly plan.
Yeah.
Just cartstack.com, browse around. My email is colton@cartstack.com. If anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out. I'd love to chat with you.
Beautiful.
Matt,
hey guys.
And you dropped the link there.
I've dropped the link into chat.
Awesome.
It should be all. Actually, I didn't do it to everyone. It's in chat now, but it's on all the live streams as we go.
Cool.
Guys, jump in. Take the opportunity to have a play with CartStack. It is a tool that we pretty much use with every course creation client here and every e-commerce client that we have started inside the Reed-Enever group and the Impact team since I got this lovely bright shiny object that I get to play with. Their process to set up the emails is not that hard. There's an amazing support team and that sort of stuff. Is there a way to tell if a sale comes from a CartStack follow-up?
Yeah.
Dawn's an e-commerce, so she's coming e-com, so she's definitely, she's a Thinkific user, but she's more e-com than everything else. So she sells craft. So I know that because she's here. And she's one of my marketing circle members.
So yes, definitely. We have a reporting dashboard that anytime anytime one of our messages results in a recovered sale, we attach that to our reporting dashboard. So typically what we say, and just to be forthcoming, because a lot of the people that we're going to help recover, not a lot, some of the people that we're going to help recover maybe would have become customers anyways. So a lot of the times what we tell people is about 10% of what we help you recover probably you would have gotten back anyways. The other 90% is because of these reminders. And as far as attribution goes, we don't attribute a sale to anyone that didn't interact with one of our messages. So they had to at least open or click on an email for us to attribute that sale to CartStack. And then if you want to get more granular with it, all you do is just put tracking links in your emails and your reminders, and then from your Google Analytics or whatever you use for analytics, you can see pretty easily there. You can line up our numbers with yours.
And look, from our point of view, to be really honest, guys, if you're processing 100 plus sales a month and you've got someone sending the reminder systems that happens to bring them through and happens to nurture your people through that system, it's a small investment.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, in my case, let's look at it from my case. In my case, it's half a course that's already out there. It's half a course sale.
Yeah.
So, that's all I need is half a course sale to get my money back out of CartStack each month.
Yeah. I think our average ROI is for e-commerce sellers is about 27 to 1, meaning for every $100 they spend on us, they recover 2,700. So
that's a pretty good stat.
It's a good little it's not bad. So then we also there are certain businesses at different price points, change things up a little bit. We do guarantee that everyone's going to get at least 25x ROI. So if you're not at least getting a 25 time ROI on what you're on your CartStack spend, we're going to drop you down to a plan that allows you to get that.
Fantastic. Okay, guys, I'm going to let this man go to bed because he needs to go to bed. I'm going to bug him and tell him to go to bed.
Appreciate it.
He needs it. Dawn says thank you. Everyone says thank you. Look, Colton will most probably surface in the next couple of days. The live stream is on my Facebook page. It is on our YouTube my YouTube channel, and it is on my LinkedIn. So if anyone wants to ask any questions, feel free. I will then tag Colton to come back and see you when he's a little bit more human. And I want to thank him for giving up his time today and coming and talking to us when he is sick as well about what customer recovery is. I challenge my Marketing Circle members to think about their customer service, customer recovery process. And I challenge my Think If It Course Creative Circle members in particular to really think about, if you're wanting to create a course creation process and a journey with selling courses while you sleep, this is one of the tools that you really need to consider having in place.
Couldn't agree more.
I will see you later,
Thanks so
guys.
much for having me.
Thanks, Colton.
Appreciate
Bye.
you. Yeah.